Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with the next review of the Terror in the Isles challenge. This time, Jason and I watched Jaws 2. Shark! We thought it would be appropriate to kick off year 2 of the Terror in the Isles challenge with Jaws 2. This is the 1978 sequel to Jaws, and believe it or not, Jaws 2, I believe, is featured even more in Terror in the Isles than the original. Either way, it's close. I've said it in the past, and I'm not ashamed to say it again. I prefer Jaws 2 to Jaws. Now, that doesn't mean I don't love the original, because I do. I just love Jaws 2 even more. This one follows more of the slasher formula. As a matter of fact, I even reviewed this movie during the Slashback Challenge a few years back. If you really look at it, it has a lot of similarities to Halloween. First of all, the movies were released the same year, in 1978. Brody in Jaws 2 is like Loomis in Halloween. He's trying to warn everybody about the evil that has returned. It's evil he knows well, because he has seen it before. No one else seems all that concerned, though. And again, the mayor refuses to believe there's a shark in the water. Brody believes this shark received a message through the way sharks are able to communicate. After the death of Bruce in the first film, this shark has come to seek revenge. Took him long enough, though. It's been years. Brody's son Mike is now a teenager in Jaws 2, and his son Sean is obviously a little bit older too. After a whale turns up dead ashore with shark bites, people go missing at sea, and Brody comes face to face with a burnt victim of the shark. Mike is warned to stay out of the ocean, but his favorite pastime with friends is sailing. Especially now that a friend of his has introduced Mike to her cousin. Mike's best friend Andy agrees that Mike is a lucky guy for being introduced to her. Mike's friends are planning a party out on the ocean. This includes his new potential girlfriend, Andy, Larry the mayor's son, and Tina Wilcox. Tina is sort of the popular girl of the group, and she's dating a guy named Eddie. She's also the character featured in that iconic scene shown in Terror in the Isles. In a way, she's a final girl of this shark slasher. Other members of the group include Tina's boyfriend Eddie and Doug, played by Keith Gordon. And there are other teenagers as well, just acting their age, wanting to have fun. You can't blame Mike for wanting to join in. You also can't blame Brody for instructing him not to. But what do many teenagers do? Disobey their parents. Despite warnings from his dad, Mike takes out his sailboat and joins the party with the rest of them. This is when it really plays out like a slasher film, as this new shark stalks and kills them, one by one. Of course, it all leads up to Brody having no choice but to save the day. This time, all by himself. That, to me, is the biggest difference in this sequel. There is no Hooper, and obviously there's no Quint. At least Matt Hooper is mentioned. He's somewhere off the grid, and Richard Dreyfuss declined to return for this sequel. And as for Quint, well, we know what happened to him in the first Jaws. Brody takes the reins alone just fine, though. I love the jet skiing scene in Jaws 2. Featured here in this classic VHS cover art. This is the scene that results in that burnt victim I mentioned earlier. It also results in half of the shark's face being burnt, which I love. It's just like any other killer from a slasher film. Disfigured and out for vengeance. I also love the helicopter scene. It's so badass. Unlike the first Jaws that was filmed at Martha's Vineyard, Jaws 2 was filmed in Florida. The movie is still set on Amity Island, though. The late Roy Scheider is awesome once again as Brody. I feel bad when he loses his job as chief of police for warning everyone about the shark. Lorraine Gary returns as Ellen Brody, and Murray Hamilton returns as Mayor Vaughn. Joseph Mascalo has a role in Jaws 2 as well. Many will probably recognize him as Stefano DiMera from Days of Our Lives. I love the concept of the teens heading out on their boats to party. That's very much the storyline of any slasher. But I love the dynamic between the kids too. They work together, fight together, survive together. They genuinely care for each other. Andy is probably my favorite of the teen characters. He has a great emotional moment with Mike's younger brother Sean, who tags along for the party. The pacing in Jaws 2 is much faster, in my opinion. The pacing has always been one of my cons with the original Jaws. Jaws 2 definitely fixed that issue. The climax is explosive and exciting. Add that to everything else I just said, and that makes Jaws 2 my favorite shark movie of all time. And my second favorite shark movie, probably even over the original Jaws, is my relatable recommendation, Bait. Bait is a 2012 shark movie that I reviewed during Shark Week last year. This one involves a group of people trapped in an Australian supermarket with sharks. Believe me, it all makes sense in the movie. It truly does. A tsunami trapped them there. This movie is so much fun. It's funny because I probably could have recommended Jaws 3D for Jaws 2, but instead I'm going with Bait 3D. What are your thoughts on Jaws 2? Comment below and let me know. And please be sure to check out Jason's review. Review. Another one is coming soon for the Terror in the Isles Challenge. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.